Well, I'm going to tell you today that there's an opportunity out there for each and every one of us to lead and to be a leader each and every day. And we don't need to be an NFL quarterback. We don't need to be a NASCAR crew chief. We don't need to run a work crew or own a company or anything else. Because more often than not, leaders are actually judged. They're actually thought of not so much in the overall accomplishments, but who they are each and every day and how they treat other people. What do I mean by that? So do you realize that if you're walking into a store, right? I'm going to challenge you to do this. We're going to talk about that in a minute. You're walking into a store and there's somebody right behind you. You have a couple options when you're walking into that store, right? It could be a male, it could be a female, it could be a kid, it could be an older person, but you have an option when you grab that door handle. You can grab the door handle, flip the door open, and you can walk on in. And you can let the person behind you worry about getting in the building themselves, right? Happens often. You could lead in that situation, right? You could know that by just simply holding that door open for that individual and letting them walk through, that you've made a decision. You've made a leadership type decision to do something for somebody else, right, that will benefit them. Well, how is opening a door benefiting somebody? I can guarantee you it's going to make them feel good. I guarantee you you're going to get a thank you. Why? A random act of kindness. You didn't need to do that. You didn't need to try to do something for somebody else, but that's what leaders do, even in very simple situations like holding a door, right? You could be someplace, you could be in a doctor's office, a dentist's office, whatever. They could, I suppose, be out of chairs and somebody walks in and they need a seat, right? Maybe it's an older person that needs that seat. Get up, right? Give that person that seat. Lead in that situation. Think about somebody else. Let your actions take control of the situation, right? Maybe it's not an elderly person. Maybe it's a young parent with a couple kids and, with them little ants that run around that are jumping all over the place. Maybe if they had that seat with their children, it'd be easier on them that day. Get up, right? Lead in the situation. Show them that you're in a position, right, in your life that you can recognize that doing something good for them is doing something good, and you can lead for them, right? We can go on and on about these different examples and why those type of things are important. But I think we got to recognize that being that person, right, is going to slowly, if you would, transform our situation. People are going to recognize, imagine if you did that at home, right? So you're living at home, you walk by the sink, and there's a sink full of dirty dishes, right? I know this happens at my house, and you could, again, what's your options? You can ignore it. You can walk by it. Nobody told you to do the dishes. Nobody told you to put them in the dishwasher, and that's fine, right? There's probably no expectation, or if there's an expectation, what's likely to happen? Somebody will come behind you and put those away for you, right? Clean those dishes, stack them in the cupboard. So you could do that. Or simply by recognizing that they're there, something inside you, right, that leadership piece inside you clicked. Because when you saw those, you likely thought, they're not supposed to be there. It sure would be great if I put those away, if I washed those dishes, if I folded that laundry. Take it upon yourself without being asked to do that simple chore. Not because you're doing it for somebody else. You are, right? But you're also creating that environment where you are now leading that situation because you took what's referred to as the high road, and that's what leaders do. Leaders think about other people. Leaders look at the situation differently, and it's so simple in your own life to do that. Not only are you going to make somebody else feel good, but you're going to feel good for doing it, and you would be surprised how quickly things around you change when people recognize that you're that kind of person. Right? Lead with somebody else. You get a friend come to you. You get a younger sibling. Maybe it's a young cousin. They're struggling with something, especially if it's somebody that's junior to you. Be the role model, right? Lead that situation. Don't let them make that bad decision. Give them good advice. Spend some time with them and smile, right? All of this really sounds like citizenship, if you would. It sounds like being a good person or paying it forward. I'll tell you what, those leaders that we all know who are successful do these things. And they do it naturally, and they do it without being told. And these type of acts lead into much greater things, right? Another piece of this, and think about this, but all good leaders were first good followers. You can't be a good leader if you're not a good follower. Because not every situation in your life are you going to be in that leadership role, right? Now, I talked about each of these different things, and you can go out right now and today and you can make a difference and do those things. But there's going to be times, and we all are, I have a boss, my boss has a boss, right? That your role is to follow. Easy enough. Boss, tell me to do it, I'll do it. I'm not going to give you a hard time. I'm going to show up. All that is great. But that's not leading from your followership role, if you would. That's just showing up. Why don't you be different than everybody else, right? Why don't you make the difference on your team and actually lead from that position? How do you do it? How do you lead as a follower? You show up when you're supposed to show up. You do the work you're supposed to do. And oh, by the way, give just a little bit extra. That's it. If you know by giving just a little bit extra that you're going to motivate the team, or you're going to motivate your boss, or you're going to serve a customer better, it's okay to do that. And again, you do that for yourself, you're going to feel better, your team's going to feel better, the customer, right, whoever that might be, is going to feel better as well. And the situation it just gives you an opportunity, if you would, again, to place yourself in that leadership position. So, I had mentioned earlier that we're all going to have, if you would, a challenge. I'm going to give you your first piece of homework. I'm guessing, from what I understand, there's maybe 100 people on this call today. I am going to challenge each of you, right? So student, educator, teacher, administrator, speaker, whoever's on this phone, myself included, whoever's on this call, I am challenging you to go out there and in your daily life today and tomorrow and the next week and the next month, find one opportunity as I described today to lead. Grab the door and open it for whoever's behind you. Offer somebody your seat. Do the dishes. Give your boss just a little bit extra. You got an idea, share it with the team. Imagine if each one of us did that. 100 people, 100 acts, 100 opportunities to lead. It is contagious, people. Smiles are contagious. Enthusiasm is contagious. These little acts are contagious. You open that door for somebody, you offer your seat, you put the dishes away, and do you know how much more likely they are to do the same thing for somebody else? Even if they don't, you did the right thing. That's what we do as leaders. It's simple, it's quick, and it can change a lot. It'll change the world around you, and it'll certainly change your attitude and the opportunities that you have to lead later in life, as well as right now, right? So don't wait for something to happen. Don't wait to be the NFL quarterback. I'm telling you, it doesn't happen very often, right? But the things I talked about can happen each and every day. So there's your challenge. Challenge one for today. I don't know what else you're going to find, but one every day, and it will make a difference in the world you live and in the world everybody that lives around you lives in. So, all right, I am out of time, and I see Susan smiling, so I know she's happy that I'm wrapping this up. I hope you all have a great day, have a great opportunity here, learn, participate, be part of it. In fact, by participating today, that would be your one act of leadership for the day. So enjoy the rest of the conference, everybody. I'm glad I had an opportunity to talk with you. Thanks.